This is the posterior thigh, and it's made up of a total of 5 muscles. We've got the gluteus maximus, and if you peel away that layer, you're going to see the gluteus medius, and you put that back on. And you've got the hamstrings, which look like 2 muscles, but they're actually 3 muscles. And we've got the biceps femoris on the lateral end. And the medial side, we've got the semitendinosus on the outside. And behind that is the semimembranosus. So if you pull it off on the model, turn it around, you'll see the semimembranosus. And these make up the hamstrings, and that's the posterior thigh. Okay. This is the leg, and the leg is this section. And this muscle right here, right next to the tibia, is the tibialis anterior. And if we flip this guy around, we're going to see this big muscle right here. This whole thing is called the gastrocnemius, and it's spelled gastrocnemius. And right below that, we've got the calcaneal tendon, Achilles heel. And flip this around, we've got the patellar ligament. Ligament connects bone to bone. And the quadriceps tendon connects muscle to bone. And that is the leg. Okay, and now we're going to do the arm muscles. This is the arm. And we've got a total of 4 muscles to name. We've got the biceps brachii, the best muscle to work out, by the way. Then we're going to skip over this muscle for a second. We're going to go to the triceps brachii. So if you look, connects right to the elbow. Triceps brachii. And right here, we've got the brachialis. So the brachialis is in between the biceps brachii and the triceps brachii. Brachialis. And now that we've got these 3 muscles named, we can find the 4th one. So between the brachialis and the triceps brachii, we find the brachioradialis. And that travels along the radius and comes down to right about here. Brachioradialis. And those are the 4 muscles of the arm. Okay. These are the muscles of the arm. We've got a total of 5. So first we're going to focus on the muscles that are right on the radius bone. Now we've got the brachioradialis. That is part of this, so we're going to ignore this. We're going to work our way around that, and all the muscles on this side of the hand, are going to be extensors of the hand. So we've got the extensor carpi radialis, which is actually 2 numbers right here. And then on the other side of the radius, we've got the flexor carpi radialis. It's this muscle. And going over to the ulna, it's a little difficult to see. since it's on this side, it's an extensor. So we've got the extensor carpi ulnaris. And on the other side of the ulna, we've got the flexor carpi ulnaris. And if this bone isn't on the model, just follow the elbow down if the elbow is on the model, or find the elbow, or where these muscles form a V, and you'll be able to find the difference between the two. And the fifth and final muscle is called the palmaris longus, and it is right next to the flexor carpi radialis. So this is the palmaris longus, and you can see it goes right down to the palm. And those are the muscles of the arm. Okay, these are the head and neck muscles. So we got a posterior or an anterior view, and we're going to work our way posterior. So we've got this whole top part, which is the epicranus, and we've got the frontal belly. This is what helps you, raise your eyebrows and make lines on your head. Then we've got this one's a hard one, Gallia aponeurotica. What kind of tissue is that? Make sure you Google that when you get home. Then we've got the occipital belly. And like I said, all of that makes up the epicranus. And we've also got the temporalis. Now to some of the facial muscles. We've got the orbiculus oris, the kissing muscle. We've got the orbiculus oculi, orbiculus oculi. So orbiculus oris and orbiculus oculi. And then we've got the zygomaticus. It's the whisker muscle. Then we've got, right underneath that, we've got the buccinators, right underneath the zygomaticus, buccinators. We've got the masseter, the chewing muscle, masseter. And then we've got the sternocleidomastoid. Connects from the sternum to the mastoid. And those are the muscles of the face and the neck. Okay, and these are the trunk muscles. So we've got a total of 6. First thing we're going to do is we're going to name the internal ones. There's lines, get a close-up view of this, there's lines that go across right here. These are the transversus abdominis. Okay? And right here, see these lines that go straight up? These are the internal intercostals. This model does not show the external intercostals, but if they did, they would be on this side, deep to these muscles. Okay? Now we put this back on. And, we've actually got one more. We've got the diaphragm muscle right here. Okay? Now we've got the rectus abdominis. It's actually one continuous muscle with these things in between. we've got the external obliques. Remember, these go down, kind of like you're putting something in your pocket. External obliques. And those are all 6, but once again, the external intercostals are not shown on this model. And those are the trunk muscles. Okay, these are the upper extremity and the pectoral girdle muscles. So we're going to be looking from an anterior and a posterior view, but there are 3 on the anterior and 7 on the posterior. So the first one on the anterior is the pectoralis major. These are the pecs. So when you're doing those push-ups, those bench presses, you're working these muscles, the pectoralis major. The second one is the deltoid. This is literally the shoulder muscle. Okay? And the third one from the anterior view is the serratus anterior. Now if you look on the side, if you can zoom in there a little bit, you see these ridges. It's like serrated, or what do you call them?
Serrated.
It's like a serrated knife. So the serratus anterior. Okay, and now we're going to go to a posterior view. And we're going to look at the latissimus dorsi. That is this muscle that, if you follow the spine, you're going to get down to here, and you're going to see something that's going to branch towards the armpit. That's the latissimus dorsi muscle. And then we've got the, hold on here, the infraspinatus. So this muscle is not very clear, but if we were able to pull off the deltoid, we would see something right here. We would see a muscle right here underneath this and underneath the deltoid. And there would be the supraspinatus, which is right above the clavicle. Scapula. And the infraspinatus, which is right beneath the scapula. And then we've got 2 muscles right here. We've got the teres minor. I'm sorry, that's not the muscle. This is the teres minor. And if you go just below that, you see the teres major. So the teres minor is more of a posterior muscle that wraps around the back of the arm, and the teres major kind of works its way towards the front. Okay? And then we've got the suprascapularis. So if we had a scapula right here and we just yanked that thing right out and we looked at the back of the scapula, you're going to see muscle. Okay, that muscle right there is called the subscapularis. We'll just put that right back in there. And we've got the trapezius. So the trapezius is, see this muscle right here? Big muscle. It's all the trapezius. And those are the 10 muscles of the upper extremity and pectoral girdle.